Hi, my name is Rosalind Wertheimer. I'm Capacity Interactive's senior content creator, and today we're going to work in the desktop version of Adobe Premiere in order to take a horizontal or a landscape video and easily turn it into a square and then turn it into a vertical video so that way it's properly sized for social media. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here we are in Adobe Premiere, and I have loaded in our Home Alone trailer for our example for today. So the first thing that I am going to do is just make sure everything is right and there's no black space or anything on either end of it. So it looks pretty clean and good, ready to go. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go for creating a square to begin with because yes, we had the landscape version, but we need a square and a vertical as mentioned before. So the first thing I'm going to do is just click on here to highlight it, and I'm going to right click, and what we need to do is unlink the video and the audio because what's going to happen is we're going to duplicate the video, but we don't need to duplicate the audio. I'm just going to put this down a little bit so I can see more of the video space because we don't need to worry about audio. The next thing we're going to do is make sure that we have a square frame right here. So in order to do that, we go into our sequence settings. So if you go into your menu bar and go into sequence, you're going to find sequence settings. And here you can see the frame size is 1920 by 1080, which is the landscape, but we need 1080 by 1080 to make a square. I'm going to press OK, and now it's a square. However, our video is cropped and we want to see the whole thing. But first, what we're going to do is duplicate the video. So in order to do that, we just press Command C or Control C, and then Command V, Control V, copy and paste. And we're going to layer them right on top of each other. Look at that fun frame we're landed on. So what we're going to do is take this top frame and make it fit the screen. So what I'm going to do now is go over to our properties, and I'm going to reduce the scale, or rather the size of the video. So I'm just going to click here and scroll to the left so it fits the frame. Now, if we left it like this, it would be a little hard to see what's happening. So what I want to do is make the background a little less noticeable. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over to my opacity and darken it a little bit. Now, this could also work just like this, but let's add a bit more effect to it. I'm going to go to my effects and type in Gaussian blur. You're going to click, drag and drop to the lower layer, which is that background layer. We go into our effect controls because that's the only way to control the effect. We go scroll down to where it says Gaussian blur and to the blurriness. Right now it's at 0. There's no blur. And we're going to move that up. I'm clicking and scrolling to the right. And as you can see, the background is now getting blurry. Let's leave it at this. And now we have a great square video, but you can still see the whole thing without any of it being cropped. Let's do the same thing for vertical. I'm going to just create a new sequence. I'm going to just call it vertical. We're going to go into our settings. And again, we're proposed with the frame size here, but this time we want it to be 1080 by 1920. And that will give us a vertical frame. Now what we can do is simply select all here, copy, and paste. But as you can see, that only gives us the square and a lot of black space. So all we need to do is expand the background. So I'm just going to click on the background here and expand it. And there we've created our landscape into a vertical. But there are other ways to do this. So what I'm going to do now is actually delete this lower layer. And now we're left with the original here. I'll move it down to the first layer. And we're actually going to copy this twice. So once and twice. So now we have 3 on top of each other. What we're going to do here, let's choose one where we can definitely see all the edges of the video. So something that has a bit lighter color in frame. We're going to take one of the videos, highlight one of the two, and we're going to take our position of the Y and we're going to lower it. Now you can scroll and go to the right to control it. You could also just type in a number and adjust from there. Let's leave it right there so we have an even black space on either side. Now we're going to take the top one and do the same thing, except now we're going to the left to raise it. And again, a nice equal black bar on either side. Now, this is what it would look like, but let's make the top and the bottom a bit less noticeable and have the center one stick out. So what we're going to do, let's start with this top one. Again, we're going to lower the opacity a little bit. We're going to give it a Gaussian blur, go into our effects, and let's blur it to about 40, maybe 50. And then what we can do is go into our color settings. Just make sure this basic correction is expanded. And we can go into saturation. That controls the saturation of the colors. So if we put it all the way down, it'll turn black and white, which might be a cool effect for this. So we're going to do the same settings that we did for this one. So again, we're going to go into our properties, turn down the opacity a bit. Let's make sure we have the exact same opacity. We had 62 for this one. Let's make sure we have 62 for this one. We then go into our Gaussian blur, drag and drop it on top. Again, let's see, we went to 60, nope, we went to 50 for the blurriness. So here we are also going to go 50 for blurry. And then the saturation, we're going to put all the way down to black and white. And now we have a different version of a vertical video where the center video is still showing. And this is a great option for Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, anything that has a vertical format. So I hope you learned a little trick today of turning that landscape video into squares and verticals. You can also turn it into portrait size, 1080 by 1350 using the same tricks. And I hope you enjoy this tutorial and we'll film some more for you coming up. All right, see ya.